Hi everyone, so thank you so much for watching the other videos and your comments as well. It's much appreciated and I'm glad you guys are enjoying them. And today I thought I'm here with my mate Adam Elemental, as you know. He's the creator of Entonal Studio, and we're going to be moving away from sound design and we're going to go towards exploration in terms of like exploring different melodies and stuff like that by using some of the more advanced Max for Live devices, which are absolutely incredibly powerful. And we're going to be using the Max for Life Essentials, which for some reason Ableton is discontinuing. So I'm like, don't know why that is, but look at that. But in all fairness, these Max for Life devices are way more powerful than your standard arpeggiator within Ableton. And in fact, I think once you start using this, you will never be able to go back to the default arpeggiator in Ableton and keep using this for the foreseeable future. So as you can see here, we got the project that we were working on the other day, and I'm gonna do something else today. So let's just put a MIDI channel here. So the devices that we're gonna be using are here within your packs, and you need to download this. This is called the Max for Life Essentials, and as I mentioned, you can just do like a quick Google search, type it in, and it will find it for you. The ones that we're gonna be looking at is two of these devices. So we can look at this arpeggiator first. I'm just gonna drag and drop it in there. Okay. As you can see here, this is an arpeggiator where you can change, obviously, the division of notes, but it has got some really interesting features that you don't normally find in any other type of arpeggiators. So I'm just going to demonstrate that for you briefly. So what we're going to do as well is maybe we can use Entonal. So
All right, cool. Already we've got something really spaced out. Love it.
So as you can see, we're running Entonal, and here we're just running Pigments inside it. So basically Pigments is going to be playing with the scale that we selected here within Entonal, right? But the thing I wanted to really show you is like, by default, an arpeggiator will just, you know, if you play one note, that's what you're hearing. If you play a chord, it will alternate between the notes, right? We can change the movement going up, going down. Obviously with two notes it's not that obvious. We can do three notes, maybe that's a little bit more exciting, right? Kind of random, just randomly just kind of picking different notes. But with this is one thing that blew me away. I'm just gonna do like a chord of 4 notes like this, right? And here is the kicker. Here basically what you can do is you can actually tell which notes are gonna be on or off, so you can do some kind of interesting gating.
Oh, you can get some rhythmic effects.
Cool, right?
Yeah, so it's becoming like a sequencer.
Exactly.
I mean, an arpeggiator is basically a simple sequencer, right?
Yeah. So,
yeah.
And the other thing here as well is obviously we can add swing, which is good. But here, then is when it gets really interesting, because here we can affect the length of each note as well. So we can randomize it. Yeah, we just did a preset, and now you can hear as we play inside Entonal. As we play the sequencer here, you can hear some notes are like shorter and other notes are longer. We can obviously make it polyrhythmic if you want it. You see?
Okay.
So we can play with all of that. We can also play with different velocity values. So you can have...
Oh, it's that randomized button there.
Yeah, this is a randomizer. These are the values that you can randomize it by. It's kind of like
Right.
you can sort of adjust it. So
is that bit on top,
subtle.
is that like a live randomizing?
Like a live randomizing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is randomizing it just by clicking.
And the bit on the top is...
This is the range of randomization. So the highest value that you can randomize it by and the lowest value that you could randomize it by. It's kind of like a range.
Right, but it's not randomizing it every time. It's only when you...
No, it's only when you click on it.
Okay.
So you can hear, you can get some really interesting...
Nice. Really cool.
That's cool, right?
I like that, yeah.
let's record that in. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. No, do it.
It was already there. Cool. So luckily for me, I was just playing those notes. I don't know if I can. Let's just do. I think maybe this would work.
Right. Yeah.
I'm just gonna. This is another thing about Ableton that's really handy, right? The fact that it's constantly recording in the background.
It's amazing.
Right, so we can maybe loop this. And I'm gonna set this up. I'm gonna do it manually, so it lasts a number of parts like this, and you can even adjust this, right? So this should be, maybe this could come in, maybe there, and then shift it. This is one thing, like a lot of people don't realize this. We actually have got warping in MIDI. This is kind of like warping, isn't it? Just by, because you can shift the notes and like stretch them and like move them around, and so it's kind of like MIDI warping, which is really handy.
Really cool.
But I think that should work nicer now. Right, I think that's better. I think maybe the octave is too high or something. I don't know, it sounds weird. But you get the idea. So this is one arpeggiator that you can do that can be really handy, and you can find this here. You can go to the Max for Life Essentials, go to Max MIDI Effect, and you'll find the arp right there. But there's also another one that's really cool, which is called the mono sequencer.
Okay, let's go.
So now you can hear that if I press play, nothing plays. So it's basically waiting for me to actually hit the key, right? So then once I hit the key, right?
Yeah.
And then what I can also do is I can randomize the notes, and then I can change the note that I'm playing.
I like this, yeah. Cool.
And then we got a gate here as well as we did before. You can randomize it as well. So there's like you could randomize it here. We got a random, so you can randomize the gate for you. In all fairness, I always keep the first note so you can hear it, and then randomize the rest of the notes, so you can do.
Yeah, I like that already, yeah.
And then here we can set it so every time I hit the play on the keyboard, it will always default to the beginning of the phrase. Because otherwise, it was kind of like continuing from the last point that was left on the sequencer, right? So it always refers back to the beginning of the sequence. We can have a swing, right? For example, here we got velocity values. Now we can even play with velocity values. So now you can really hear the duration of the notes, no? You can really sort of hear that on velocity. You can.
Something that's nice to do, I mean, that I sometimes do it.
That's cool. And remember that this can be also polyrhythmic. That's cool.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
It's great. And then here, for example, you can, of course, do some.
Nice, so you can
Set different lengths.
So this is much more like, this is really, I like this. Yeah, this is quite flexible.
It's crazy.
Very much like, multiple modular sequences.
Exactly that, yeah.
Really nice.
So this is the reason why I said, like, once you play around with this, you can't go back.
No.
Because there's so much more flexibility.
This is great.
It's fantastic. And then And then here you can even you could randomize it. You can even get Ableton to kind of randomize it for you every now and then. So sky's the limit. But I just wanted to demonstrate that, you know, besides using the arpeggiator in Ableton, actually Ableton themselves created all these plugins, which I don't think they are getting the love that they deserve, right? Because they're actually extremely powerful. So the mono sequencer can be really good in order to just kind of like come up with new ideas. And the fact that you can just play it like an arpeggiator, you know, because you can just change the note and it does it automatically, and you know.
Yeah. Really cool. Yeah,
And it works within Entonal, which is great, right? So that way you can write new parts to a song easily. If you like trying to figure out what kind of progression you want to create or melody, you can just randomize things, and eventually you will come across something that you're like, yeah, that sounds cool, and explore it. You know, it's a bit like playing, you know.
Yeah.
Which is, it's a lot more versatile really than just any arpeggiator. It's a proper full-on sequencer that you can actually control by MIDI and change the root note as you sequence the notes for you. So anyway, so that was something I wanted to just quickly share. By the way, if you are not using Entonal, you can use the scale device here if you wanted to make it into a specific scale. So you can just go here and be like, obviously not as Entonal, but you will have to make it minor, major, and whatnot.
Right. Okay. So
but,
you can, yeah.
But you can still sort of play it in key.
It to a certain scale, yeah.
Yeah, which is quite handy.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, guys, for watching, and I hope you find that useful. It's just something that actually through one-to-ones with some of my students, they were asking me things about how can I do this with arpeggiator, and I was like, no, you can't. But luckily, we've got these other devices which open up so many more possibilities for creative melodies and just exploring things and see what happens. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Adam as well.
Yeah.
And
great.
Yeah,
Thank
have
you.
fun, guys. As always, leave a comment, leave us a like if you can, and on to the next one. Cheers.